It's time to break up with your inner critic and find your caregiver. I'm partnering with Green Mountain at Fox Run to host the first ever Be Her Now Body Kindness Weekend, just for women. Join me Thursday, June 1st through Sunday, June 4th for a weekend of love, fun, and self-care. You'll experience Green Mountain's world-renowned program and brand new body kindness spiral up activities, all in the natural beauty of Vermont. Let's take the time to work on ourselves, heal with others, and get inspired to create a better life. Learn more at fitwoman.com/bodykindness. Hey guys, it's Rebecca. Before we get into this month's update with Bernie and Rebecca, I just wanted to offer a content and language advisory. If you are around little people with wandering and ears and curious minds, aka children, or you're in a public setting, you may just want to grab a set of headphones before listening in. And hope you enjoy the show. Because real health is about being good to yourself, it's time for Body Kindness, the place where all bodies fit and weight is just a number. Hi, I'm Rebecca Scritchfield, author of the book Body Kindness, registered dietitian nutritionist, and host of this podcast. Today, I have Bernie Salazar joining me once again, where we catch each other up on how we're doing on our own body kindness practice and just kind of share the joys of being parents and adults, non-dieters in this crazy diet culture world. Welcome to the show, Bernie.
Rebecca, it's so good to hear from you again. Everybody, hello. It's good to be back.
Yeah, so how have you been?
Everything's been really good. I can't complain. Not one bit. My baby's doing fantastic. My wife is still married to me. I looked in the mirror today and was able to comb my hair, so I'm looking kind of cute. Yeah, life is good.
You took a shower, whether you needed it or not.
Took a shower, absolutely. Yes, life is fantastic.
Yeah, both of my girls got some sort of stomach virus, like days apart. So I may have gone like 5 days without a shower. And finally I was like, this is wrong. You've got to fix this.
And from one parent to another, you're like, okay, cool. Yeah, I understand that. I was walking around the other day with some baby puke on me. And the only thought in my head was, well, it's not too much, so that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. What's the worst? I remember I used to make a joke like, I haven't been clean in 3 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I can totally relate. And I'm sure our parents out there listening can relate in some form or shape. Oh my gosh, the things that you find yourself doing as a parent. I mean, literally, it's funny because, the whole diet culture thing we're talking about. The big thing was, oh, don't eat this, don't eat that. All you had to do was be a parent and you're grossed out by half the stuff. That mindset, that would have been a big help, I guess.
Well, any sort of nutrition, exercise, body kindness type update from you? Yes. I had homework and I did it. So I'm going to follow through real quick and fill you in. On our last conversation, you sent me off and you asked me to find one of the best desserts in Chicago. Yes. And that was, it was a hard job, but I went ahead and I did it. And I can report back to you and give you both good feedback and bad feedback. The good feedback was that I found an amazing chocolate chip cookie at a coffee spot that is in Chicago and I think a few other big cities called La Colombe. Colombe. It's just a chocolate chip cookie. Great price. Awesome chocolate chip cookie. It's fantastic. That's the good part. The bad part is I just found out that they're discontinuing it. So, oh my gosh, why?
Yeah. Was my luck. So what happened was I think they were baking them in shop and I think they found some big supplier and my heart hurts because it genuinely was a good cookie. And for me, it's not just about the cookie. As I've become a parent, I realize that it's also about the price. So it's the quality that you're getting for, the money, the bang for the buck. And it was like $1.50 and it was fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and take a moment of silence there we go, for that cookie. Very sad about that.
Yeah. So you went, you found it. What was it? Everything you hoped it would be, it sounds like.
It really was. It was either that or was it the fact that I was at a coffee shop in the middle of the day, minus my beautiful daughter that particular day. And maybe I was just able to enjoy it without her looking at me like, why aren't you sharing? Mm-hmm. So, and I'm pretty sure you guys, any parents out there, have you had that experience? Like, I feel like a villain whenever I put something in my mouth and I don't share, or they're looking at you like, why would you do that? I can't, chew that yet. So I think maybe that contributed to the tastiness of that cookie. Yeah. But I there's got to be parents out there that can relate. It seems as though whenever you sit to put something in your mouth, kids just magically appear. Like, wasn't there? Oh my gosh, there was that video of that mom in a closet, right? Eating, or was she just hiding from the kids?
She was hiding Twizzlers or something, wasn't it? Like,
can totally relate. Can totally relate to that. And moms, you're not alone. Dads hide too.
Well, I mean, we all deserve our moment to, so I can totally get that. And, yeah, so at my girls' ages, especially the younger one, like she has many more verbal skills. So if I nurse her down and get out of bed to have like my glass of wine and, adult time with my husband, sometimes she'll wake up and she makes her way upstairs and, Mommy, you're supposed to be cuddling with me. And it's like, talk about guilt. It's like, oh. So, so you just wait. You get the feeling that they're thinking all these bad things. They definitely are. And they will pile on the guilt. I mean, and sharing is a big thing right now in our house because it's all about being fair. So, I bet your instincts are correct. But generally, so it does sound like, though, we talked about the value of reframing, foods that, bother you or concern you in some way. And so for you, it was desserts, and it was about just this idea of like, I want to go out and enjoy a dessert, find something based on taste, and just kind of reframe that moment. Like, it can literally just be a cookie and it can taste amazing. It could taste horrible. That's part of the experiment. But that you can rewire these connections, that it doesn't have to be this bad thing happened, so then I go soothe with food, right? Or I did good enough to earn this reward. You can really reframe the whole thing and just take away the power by just saying, I like dessert. This is what I'm going to choose, and I'm going to be open to that experience.
Well, what was nice about it too was I was on a mission. Like, I wasn't just biting into desserts, and like I was on a quest to try and find the best dessert in the city of Chicago, which is no easy task. I mean, and for me, again, I coupled that with, bang for the buck and just how fresh it was. And so I didn't feel like, maybe my former self where it was like, oh, I'm just, I'm giving into something. It's like, no, I know that given my vast experience as Bernie, that I can discern a good dessert from a bad dessert. I didn't need any cameras following me around, although I think in my mind I kind of had them. I had my own theme music as I walked into a place, and I even imagined like the shop owners kind of like fixing their shirt because they're the critic is coming in. None of that actually happened, but in my head that just made this experience so much better. And you're right. I was able to just kind of have fun with the whole situation, and be kinder to myself, because for so long I was at odds with dessert or sweets, or I shouldn't be having this, or,
Yeah.
It was just so nice to just kind of just indulge in a healthy, kind way.
Yeah. And, I love the word indulge because we actually misuse it. I mean, it depends on the type of definition that you look up. But it really generally just means to take pleasure in. Yeah,
well, I'll tell you what, there was quite a bit of indulging going on, and it was done in just an awesome way. And as I was doing that, I was thinking to myself, I can't wait to be able to do these types of things with my daughter, because I want her to have that positive feeling about exploring her taste buds and exploring her city, and coming across an awesome dessert. I want her to be the type of person that when somebody says, gosh, I have a sweet tooth, I wonder where I should go, I want her to be like, oh my gosh, I have like 5 places.
Yeah, you want her to have mad dessert skills.
Mad dessert skills and mad life skills. Like if somebody's like, man, I'm looking for a place to spend the afternoon. I want her to be able to kind of spout that off. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is if we kind of indulge in life together. So that's the plan.
That's so awesome. Well, we'll have to figure out if we have another assignment or not by the end of the show today. But
I should start getting some video done, even if it's, we live in this selfie society. Sorry to cut you off.
Instagram it.
Yeah, I could report for you, Rebecca.
Yes, you should do Instagram, like the Instagram stories. And I'm getting more and more used to that. And they'd only last so many seconds, but then you just kind of repeat them. And you could do like Bernie's Body Kindness Adventures and show workouts and dessert explorations and, best pizza, all that kind of stuff.
Now you're really making my imagination go. Now I'm thinking to be purchasing a GoPro because, you got to be able to have both hands and legs and everything free.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what you come up with. Cool. Well, my update is interesting. So I feel like I remember last time giving a word and it was like unpredictable or some sort of like strange word where I was just saying like the kind of schedule was, that was definitely going on. So I left to go to a conference and I got together with one of my very, very good friends. She hasn't been on the podcast yet, but I hope to have her on soon. She's a co-author of a new book that is coming out called Born to Eat.
Yes.
And it is basically, she calls it Body Kindness for Babies. And it's basically about following a baby-led weaning approach, which I had given you that book on baby-led weaning.
Yes, it worked out awesome.
Did it? Cool.
Yes, it did.
Cool. So it's a mix of recipes and photos, but it's also there's this underpinning of sort of like a structure for raising like truly like mind, body, healthy kids and certain scenarios and things like that. So I'm very, very honored to have given an advanced read and review, and my review made the front cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going on the fridge.
Exactly. Yeah. So that will definitely be something that I am proud of for a while. But anyway, I digress. So Leslie Schilling. So she is a very good friend of mine, co-author. And the other author is Wendy Jo Peterson, who's also a very good friend of mine. We all met in a pool with margaritas in hand years ago at a nutrition conference. We were all, we were supposed to be in a session and we were all playing hooky, separately got drinks, kind of commiserated. And we're like, oh shoot, we're all dietitians. Tee. And we've been friends ever since. But anyway.
Sounds like a fun crew. And I have had the honor of meeting Leslie, and she is super sweet and nice.
Yes.
On top of the fact that she's very smart. Yes. And I would love to speak with her. I'll for sure be tuning into that podcast, but if you need an extra voice on there, just or actually an extra set of ears, because I do want to hear what she has to say about just everything.
Yeah, no, that we will make that happen. So anyway, so I was like, things are uncontrollable, blah, blah, blah. So stayed with her for a few days, and there was a conference going on that I was kind of in and out of, but I also saw my family because it was out in Las Vegas, and my sleep schedule was messed up. And, Leslie and I were on this walk and we were chatting, and it was just getting to have that pause to kind of talk to her. She really just helped me. She really helped me realize, and even just kind of being in her like home environment, like watching her enjoy the morning, there was just something that was really magical about it. And Leslie's actually a story in the book too, if there happens to be any listener who does not have body kindness. It is available everywhere, but Leslie is a story toward the end of the book. It's a very important story. She's had some serious setbacks in life that really caused her to she really had to reevaluate what was worth her time and energy. And it is literally, I can say now, changed her for the better. And I was on this walk with her and I just realized, I was like, I think that it was more than just these unpredictable things going on. It was, if I'm being honest, like these unrealistic expectations I had on myself for how I should be spending my time. So I'm totally going to come clean. Ever since, I don't even know when, but somewhere when the book was going to be due or whatever, I had a calendar reminder for every day at 5:30 I was going to be out of bed checking email. And so that was my supposed window to like get up and kind of see what was happening, like see what kind of fire I had to put out. And I would never hit that appointment, but then I'd start my day kind of feeling already behind. So then I had blocked out getting the girls ready for school. But the agreement my husband and I had is that he would do it if he didn't have to be in at work early. And he works for the news and his schedule's unpredictable. And it was turning out many days he did have to be in early. But in my mind, I assumed he could do it every day. So I scheduled crap during that time that never got done. And then it was like I gave myself no time. The second I would have them back from dropping them off to school, my first thing would need to happen. And so I just kind of said, wonder what would happen if I didn't schedule anything to start in the day until 11. And I only made it 1 week. But my testimony for that week was that, first of all, I got rid of the 5:30 a.m. appointment. That made no sense. And frankly, I wasn't listening to it. It wasn't bothering me, but there was something that was so valuable about just clicking delete permanently, right? Just let go of that expectation. Then I realized that this morning time, it didn't matter if my husband could do it all on his own, but that this is quality time for us and the kids. So you will be scheduling nothing during that morning routine thing. Nobody else is, right?
Good job.
Yeah. And so then what happened is that I actually had permission to work out early in the day because I was missing yoga that I could have gone to. And it's an unlimited membership. So you pay if you don't use it, right? Or, you're like, I could go anytime, but something in my mind was saying, oh, but wait till later in the day. Almost like once you've earned it from enough work or something really weird. So there were a couple mornings I went to yoga in the morning and I was like, it is okay to be in a morning yoga class, even though you have things to do, it was just really weird. I didn't notice it kind of got quote unquote that bad because I also saw a benefit to afternoon exercise routines. But that was such a nice experience. And just telling people, great, I'm available after 11:30. What I realized is if I didn't do my workout in the morning, or if I did, and then I had this window, I could come back, I could get my coffee, and I could do something that didn't get done the day before because I didn't commit to anything new the next day. So, I realized not a lot of people work for themselves and are like, how does this apply to me? I think the bottom line is, what I learned is it's always good to self-reflect on how things are happening. The problem that you think is there might not be the root of the problem. That I say this all the time. It was a reminder to practice what I preach. Is like, you've got to have control over your schedule to the best of your ability. So if you're pushing yourself with unrealistic expectations for what could get done, it's like setting yourself up for these like miniature failures that is likely going to trigger overwhelm and anxiety. So that first week was great. Really, the only reason why this second week wasn't as good really just has to do with good things, because I do need to earn money. There's some good spokesperson and TV stuff where there was driving and just, prep stuff, some events that I'm going to be speaking at that just, I definitely got rid of the overwhelm stuff, but like basically, some mornings I started work at 9 instead of 5:30 in the morning. But anyway, yes. I do feel better, and I feel better that that's my mindset. And so we'll see kind of how that transpires.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. You know, I've always told you that I really value how honest you are, not just professionally but personally, with myself and of course with the listeners. Yeah, I mean, here we are, we're talking about it, but you know, it takes constant reminders and renewal and constant work to make sure that we are being kind to ourselves, and that's a really powerful story, especially the part about already kind of starting at a deficit. You know, when you in your mind are thinking to yourself, okay, well, yeah, I said it, but I didn't really pay attention to that. So it's almost like you're already rolling out of bed on the wrong foot. And there's a lot to be said about that. You know, there's days that I've had where, I set an expectation a little too early or out of my reach, and you do it affects the rest of your day. One thing that we talked about not too long ago was just about being a little bit more present and taking the time to think about where you're at and what you're doing. And that can be really hard to do when you're just trying to survive the day. Can I get an amen, listeners, right? There's some days you just got to try to survive through, let alone be reflective about. So I want to take a moment to just say congratulations on surviving some of those days, because that's a big feat, whether or not you realize it. And two, just what Rebecca said, which is we are more in control of our time than we think we are, and what we do with that time and where we assign that time and the emphasis that we place in that time. And that's something that I've been able to work on a lot recently. And it's really been eye-opening. And even if it's, and I'm not talking about a certain length of time for you to be sitting there reflecting or doing something that you absolutely love, but it is acknowledging the fact that even taking a minute, 2 or 5, to just breathe in deep, to just think about where you're at and how you're feeling, kind of do a system analysis check on yourself is so, so valuable. So I really hope that our listeners out there are understanding that it's something that's easier said than done, but it's so worth doing.
Well, it's funny that you said system analysis. That's very techie of you, but I think
I'm feeling techie today.
I like nerdy techie stuff, but that's exactly what it is. You are a system, and our brains are not as powerful as iPhones. So they do need attention, and they do need that reboot and all that stuff. And yeah, I think I mentioned what I talk with clients about is this idea of like a business meeting with yourself. And I remember my editor, I love her, but I remember her saying something like, oh, that sounds so like rigid and boring and da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, but like a quick kind of scan and check in, like, how am I doing this morning? Like, did I take my vitamin, or did I have a glass of water? Do I feel rested? It just kind of a quick scan and check really helps me be aware of how I'm doing just right early on, not to judge, but just to know yourself better.
So important. I think you hit it right on the head. And especially for us guys out there, to say, hey, I'm going to take a minute to just kind of check my system. Mm-hmm. Like that could mean something totally different to a guy, right?
Right.
But I want my guy listeners out there to realize that it is so important to actually take the time to do that. And it's hard. It's hard to settle your brain and your body and actually, even close your eyes for that 30 seconds and really try to kind of get in tune with yourself. It's a really interesting thing to do.
You just revealed your next assignment to me.
Awesome.
Well, actually, there might be 2. So there is a great app that I have just now become familiar with called Insight Timer. And it's free. And I love it. It's basically like a meditation app. People can submit. So I actually might do one, but there's all these it's guided meditations. There's a nature sounds. I created a custom thing that's like a bunch of like with a like gongs and ohms and all this stuff. So you can get creative or as simple as you want to, but maybe just do a once a day. They have as short as 5 minutes, some get longer, but just once a day, pick something from the Insight Timer, and either morning or night, or just when you need to feel a little bit more centered, go and do it and just notice if it makes a difference at all.
Awesome. I will definitely do it. And as always, I like to encourage our listeners to join me. I hate to feel that I'm alone. So guys, go check out Insight Timer. It's a free app that Rebecca is saying can help us to kind of get more in touch with ourselves. And I'm going to give it a try.
Speaking of touching yourself.
That's next podcast.
Yeah, well, but it's the assignment too, Bernie.
Awesome.
Come on, do it for research. Do it for the listeners.
Let's hear this. Let's get it.
Well, no, I mean, I think, we'll both do it. I already did it for the book and I kind of do it on the regular anyway, but we will both do. Let's just kind of, so coming up next month, the whole month is dedicated to sex, sexuality, masturbation. Woohoo! I already have my little tees up. So all the episodes will come with a pre kind of warning to grab your headphones, and now this one will too, I guess. Now that we've gone there, I wasn't expecting this, but you gave me the hole, so to speak. So
It's funny because I'm the one that's blushing, and Rebecca's very open, and I love this. And it's funny because she kind of had foreshadowed that this would be coming this year. And so let's just hear the assignment, and we'll go from there, because it's so funny how the roles are reversed from what you typically would think.
Okay, so I think overall the assignment is to just be able to take notice of your body and really experience a full embodiment and exploring sexuality, right? So it's like, it could be something as benign as just you're by yourself and you just like touch different areas of your body and notice like a sensitivity, or if something feels, good, or I don't feel much, it just a little bit of like exploration and just see what comes up. I would definitely encourage you to, as comfortable as you feel disclosing, but like spend some time just maybe masturbating a little bit, if that's part of what you feel comfortable doing.
And here, to be honest, like this is definitely, I'm. So we Skype while we do the podcast, and my face has gone.
I assume you wear pants when we Skype, Bernie. I'm wearing pants.
Yes, they are there. Okay. I'm gonna invite. I am everything. Listeners, you guys are with me on this one. I want to know that you're with me, and I think this is awesome. And this. Let me go ahead and just open up a bit. I think that it has a lot to do with just my background, the way I was raised, religion, the fact that it wasn't necessarily a topic that was really talked about in my house. But I'm really excited about this, and I don't want my fumbling or stumbling to say otherwise. I think that this is tremendously important, not just from the standpoint of how I was raised and the experiences that I've had speaking about sex, but also from a male perspective. I think that, guys, we are taught or shown through society that we it's this aggressive grunt, get it done type thing, and never do we talk about actually exploring. That's something that, until I even saw the vagina monologues, did I understand that, that there's more to talk about, that it's not just a get her done type thing. So, yeah, especially our male listeners out there, I think this is an assignment we can handle.
It's an assignment we can get excited about. Yeah. And then since you are in a committed relationship, if your wife is willing for you to share anything that may come up in sex or any sort of intimacy between the two of you over the next month, I think that would be helpful as well. But certainly, privacy to be respected, and, you guys can just kind of see what comes up. And
I'll have her listen to this podcast and let her know I'm not just saying that I'm just not making up that it was an assignment. We need to really talk about this. Which is not so the whole check-in thing. I mean, we're going on years of marriage here. So this is
exactly.
My gosh, this might be the most challenging homework yet.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
That's pretty much what I'm
relationship stuff. Relationship. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool.
Which is nice. And I want to talk really quick. I mean, all our listeners out there, talk about it. And this ties right back in with what we were talking about earlier, which is taking the time to really check in. And this is truly checking in. So, all right, listeners, we're on board.
We're going to do it. Okay, cool. So we will end here. We'll end on a high note and we'll get back in touch at next month and just see what comes up for us.
I think it's going to be interesting. People tune in.
Okay, I got to stop giggling. I need a glass of water and I need to stop giggling. Okay, well, thank you for chatting so much. It was so fun.
Absolutely. Till next time.
Become a Body Kindness Insider. Visit bodykindnessbook.com and click on Get Started.